wait, do me a favor, move the window to the side just so I can make sure it says we're live. Yep, we're on. Alright, so ladies, there goes that, there goes that. Okay, cool. I have to wait, usually have to wait until, there it goes. Alright, that's what I was looking for. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here live on Yhamish Presents. Like I told you guys earlier this morning, when we did our previous show, I know I'm waiting for people to start logging in, so I'm going to kind of stretch this a little bit. Like I told you guys this morning, I was going to do everything I could when I told you guys what had just happened. I was going to have His Majesty here on the show to discuss what has taken place. All right. First of all, I'm going to do it like I always do it. Welcome to Yhamish Presents, discussion table about all things Amtgard. For the most part, sometimes we do go off the rails a little bit. We try not to. Yes, we are live. I'm not doing a Facebook Live because right now my Facebook, for some reason, is not going live. I don't know why, but we are live. Alright, so anyway, we are here with the King of the Celestial Kingdom. I almost fucked up and said a different kingdom, which that would have made this completely a shitstorm. Wow. Anyway, but we are live, so anyway, I'm here with the King of the Celestial Kingdom, Watcher, and you call yourself Knungar, right? Knungar. Hey, I'm getting better at it.
Hey, you're getting close.
I'm getting close. By the time you step down to office, I'll have it.
There you go.
Okay. Anyway, yes, he's got brown on him today. We had a pie in the face auction to help offset the funds for beer pong for Thursday night at Spring War.
And I got the chocolate pie.
He got the chocolate pie, so yes, he has brown. And there went that. Okay, so, anywho, yeah, so we have, all right, I'm a little off kilter now. Anyhow, so I'm introducing Watcher to the show. This is the first time he's been on Yhamish Presents. He's been on the other show before. However, since it's a different format, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and Amtgard.
Well, as most everybody knows, my name is Watcher. I'm the current monarch of Celestial Kingdom. Was recently elected back in October. And I've been in the game for going on 24 years this May.
I finally have somebody on the show who's been in the game longer than me.
Yes, not by much, not by much.
Not by much.
And I mean, you know, I got into the politics of CK because I saw so many things that were swept under the rug. I mean, you know, things would be swept under the rug, or, you know, hey, this is my bro, so I'm not going to do anything, and I can't do that. So I wanted to make sure that stuff was done and done right.
Yeah, and that good thing. All right, so now we know people are here. Let's go and address the 300-pound gorilla in the room. Okay.
It's a 600-pound silverback.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so as you guys are all aware, today on CK and the CK page, we got an announcement that rolled out from yours truly that Raban has been banned for life. Fister has been banned. Fister Wingard has been banned for, or been suspended for 1 year. I don't like to use the term banned because the terminology of banned means you're gone. Suspended means you can come back.
With a 1 year probationary period.
Yeah, and he has a 1 year probationary period. And then we had Rosie
and Trubjin
okay, which have a probationary period of 1 year, and they have to maintain Kapora and Reeves qualified for the entire year.
Correct.
Okay. Now this is spawning from an investigation that was done by an individual that is not being named. This individual is staying nameless for layman's terms, fudging numbers for attendance at a park. Correct?
Correct.
And multiple accounts of fudging numbers. Correct.
16 total.
16 total accounts of fudging numbers. Now, is that 16 times or 16 people?
16 individual counts.
So that's 16 different weeks or 16 credits total?
16 different sign-ins.
16 different, so that's 16.
It's actually broken down on the CK page. I posted the findings.
Yeah, you did.
Of the investigation, and it actually breaks it down to what percentage of, you know, of their credits were actually fraudulent.
Okay.
and so it actually kind of spells everything out. The person who did the investigation is very thorough. I don't even know who did the investigation. All I know is that it was an independent third party.
Okay.
So
an independent third party was brought in. Okay, so was it the AI that requested the independent third party on this situation?
No.
Okay.
That was done at kingdom level. We wanted to make sure that everything was neutral.
Okay. All right. At what point was AI brought into this? Because I know AI was brought into this.
AI was brought into this just at the beginning of this week, after the results of the investigation concluded.
Okay, so they were consulted to see where they stood on this whole situation.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we understand that AI's involvement was just as a consultation purpose to see where to go on this. Okay.
Yes.
All right, because that's been a misconception that AI BOD's been under this investigation the entire time.
Yes, AI BOD made no rulings.
Is this the actual document itself? Okay. All right. So basically, the breakdown is there 16 individual incidents where numbers
spanning 14 dates and do not conform to the requirements for Amtgard credit and are thus invalid. This represents 10.88% of all such attendance records. The total credits granted across these 16 attendance records is 433, which represents 13.34% of the total 3,247 credits granted across all attendance records. At least 4 individuals entered one or more of the non-qualifying attendance records for 2 of the records, both from late 2016. It was not possible to determine who had made the entries. The 16 records are rendered invalid for the following reasons. 6 records took place during an instance of planetfall. 3 records took place during an event sponsored by Daggerear. Yeah, Daggerear. 4 records took place during an event that was limited to the Dark Rider Company. 2 records took place during an instance of Wasteland War. 1 record took place during the High Fantasy Society Combined Realms War. The following individuals are responsible for entering 1 or more non-qualifying records. Fister Wingard entered at least 3 records. Trabjim Poncherelli entered at least 4 records. Rabonzarelli Harkonis entered at least 3 records. Raven Poncherelli entered at least 4 records. For 2 records, the orc does not list the person that completed the entry.
Okay. All right. So, and that's a huge amount of numbers.
Yes.
Over that period of time. So we're not talking about 2 or 3 here and there.
Yeah, not once or twice or 3 times.
We're talking about a decent percentage
over 2 years.
Over to the period of 2 years. Okay.
Had it just been, just the latest couple events, Forging Pangea. Okay, hey, cool. We can chalk that up to Rosie being new and not understanding what what has to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, and what constitutes.
And that's easily corrected because it just happened recently.
Yes.
Okay, so because I've had prime ministers before that have messed it up, and we've been able to go in and just correct it and fix the problem.
Yes.
But this is a period of 2 years, so we're talking about a lot of numbers.
Yes, we are.
Which affects the kingdom as a whole.
It does.
You know,
it can potentially affect our MPO status as well.
And it also affects the status of Devil's Bayou as well.
It can, yes.
Is there any investigation going into Devil's Bayou with the possibility of demotion because of this?
No, because even removing the fraudulent credits, though they've already been removed, they are still at a 31, or it's like 31.64 average, I do believe, for their 6 month. So they would still be a duchy.
Okay, so they're going to remain as a duchy.
Yes.
Okay, now another question that popped up, because this was popped up today, it was in the thread. Because the individual that has been banned for life owns the property the Devil's Bayou currently practices at. Is that going to affect the eligibility of Devil's Bayou continuing to be able to play there?
The only issue, that's a 1 year average. You have to click on the park and then go to.
Okay, according to Harley, it says according to the page, they've removed themselves from Amtgard as a whole.
Yes.
So then Devil's Bayou no longer exists in the CK. Is that official, or is that something that's pending?
They've changed their name, and
if they don't participate.
Yeah, and if they aren't participating, because I mean, one of the things is that they needed, they needed to have a different place for their park meetings. I mean, it's got to be something, or it's got to be a place where everyone is able to go.
Okay.
That's what constitutes Amtgard.
Yes.
if somebody is not banned in the CK, they have every right to show up to any park. Okay? If it is on private land, that can present an issue.
Yes.
The first time that somebody is told, you know, hey, you can't come back here, we can't do that.
Okay, so are we looking at the possibility maybe down the road looking at a Kapora change where parks cannot be held on private land? Because that's been asked today too.
That's possible.
Okay.
I mean, I actually have a lot in the works for Kapora revisions.
Okay.
Like, you know, one of the things that I've actually noticed that can possibly be a problem is our park leaders and PMs, they're not required to keep paper receipts.
Yeah, that is something that needs to change.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have to have a way to track that.
All right, let me ask you another question. And I talked to you about this before we went on air. Okay. The information has come out that none of the individuals who were penalized were interviewed during this investigation whatsoever. Okay. Is there a reason why no one reached out to the individuals accused to see if they could even justify their actions?
Unfortunately, the evidence presented it's pretty incontrovertible.
Okay.
I mean, if whenever you actually Chris or Ranjara actually goes in and she details how the org data was pulled and how it's actually presented. You know, it's in a MySQL database.
Yes.
So, you know, it actually logs who logged that in.
Okay.
Now, everybody's saying, you know, that, oh, well, that wasn't me. Okay. That's all fine and dandy. You're saying that it wasn't you, but unless you can provide me some proof saying it wasn't you, I have to go based on what evidence we have. I have no other choice.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's just like if I get over here on your computer and I log into some bank and randomly hack it and it spits out money from an ATM and they trace it back to your computer.
Nice hacker's reference.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And unless you can actually prove that I was the one here at your computer, you're going to take the fall for it.
Of course, because it's coming out of my
yours.
IP.
Yes.
You know, so, and that's one of the issues that I brought up in discussion with some people about this today. Is like it is possible to log into somebody's org under their name, and org shows them logged in. You know, and not the person who's actually doing the login. Which and this has brought up a complaint I've had with org for quite some time about, you know, accurate, you know, is there a security feature way we can get more accurate on this? But the problem is it comes down to handing out your passwords and stuff like that.
Correct.
Well, we have the proof. You did it. You're on camera. Mwahaha. Okay. Yeah, well, see, we're on camera right now, so we can't deny what we're doing right this minute.
I can't deny that I just hacked a bank.
You know, so if it did happen, if one of y'all hack a bank tonight, you know, unfortunately, and you use this as your defense, I will eventually get out of prison. I'm just telling you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so so what is going to be what is the proper what would be the proper procedure if any of these individuals want to appeal this?
They would actually need to appeal to the current monarch in office.
Which is you.
Correct. Or whoever the next monarch is.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that they're not going to want to appeal to me, since I'm the one that issued the ban.
That's not entirely true.
If
they have evidence that they didn't do this, why not go
now,
to you?
If they have the evidence and they present me the evidence where, I mean, I can 100% prove without a doubt that they did not enter those credits, then yes, we will look at their current suspension, ban, probation, whatever, and then we can review it from there. It's on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, now this got asked earlier today, and it is the reason why Raban received a permanent and Pfister only received a 1 year. Is it because of Raban's situation where he is a knight, not only a single knight, a double knight, a former monarch of the kingdom, you know, and basically, and his role is what he should be looked upon. Is that the reason why he got a permanent?
That's why he received a harsher punishment.
Okay.
Is because he has been monarch of the CK. He is a twice belted knight. He knows better. I mean, you know, he knows that, you know, hey, we can't flub these numbers.
Okay.
I mean, you know, at Murky Waters, I mean, you can ask our current PM, Ravenheart. I mean, he is very, very accurate with our numbers.
Yes.
He's very anal retentive with our numbers.
Yes, very anal retentive. You stick a lump of coal up that man's ass, and in 2 weeks you have a diamond.
Yeah, it's coming out as a diamond. Yes, I know that. I caught that reference too. All right. Okay. So
that's why Pfister also received a suspension for 1 year.
Okay.
Because he has been in Kingdom office. He was a Kingdom PM. He knows better.
Okay.
Now, I mean, you know, he doesn't have, you know, he wasn't ever Monarch. Had he been Monarch and he was a Knight, he would have received the same exact suspension that Jimmy did.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know.
Are you going, since you are king and you do sit in on the Knight Circle meetings, okay, and you will be sitting at, I take it you will be sitting at the one in Springmore?
If they have one, yes.
Are you going to make a recommendation?
I am not making any recommendations towards belts.
Okay.
I leave that up to the Knights.
Okay.
Because that power, the power to strip a Knight of a belt remains with the Circle of Knights.
You still have to approve it.
I have to approve it.
Yes.
But it's
so you're not going to go in there and say, hey, I recommend we strip Jimmy's belt.
I am not.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But
okay.
if another Knight brings that up, then so be it.
See, right there. We already asked a question. All right. So
yep.
it's totally up to the Circle of Knights. By the way, folks, for those of you listening in, if you want to ask a question about this situation, there's no hold bars on my show. None whatsoever.
I will try to answer it to the best of my knowledge.
You get in the chat room and ask a question, okay, about any of this, and we will answer it to the best. It'll be answered to the best ability. You will. I will. You know, I found out about it just like everybody else.
He can answer everything.
This is the first. Believe it or not, I've been in this game for 20 years. My Yhamish's technical 21st birthday in the game will be at Spring War, and in fact, it'll be Thursday at Spring War. Is technically the 21st birthday of Yhamish's character. Okay, I have seen a lot of people get in trouble for shit down the line. This is the first time I've seen a person. Or a group of individuals, because usually if something like this, it's one person.
Correct.
The group of individuals get in trouble for this kind of thing. So this is kind of new territory for even me.
And me.
I mean, you've been in for 24. You know, I don't remember a time. I know we've had many times we had people steal money. That happens all the time. But this is a first for this situation. So of course, you know, it's one of those things that we're moving on as we go. Because this is going to set a precedence later on down the road. If anything like this happens anywhere else, where to go? I was going to ask an off-topic one. No, don't try. Let's just try to stay on topic on this issue, just because this is a sensitive matter in his kingdom right now. Because you know, I believe it or not, though, what's really odd is the things that weren't important have like 300 count thread. This one, last I checked, was what, 56.
If that.
That's at 67.
Or 67? Okay. If you can look at the thread possibly while you're in and see if there's any specific questions in there that don't get answered, we can maybe answer it here in case they're not going to log in the chat room and ask any questions.
Yeah, I've actually answered quite a few on there.
I'm sure you have. I don't doubt it. I can remember when I was king of a kingdom and things happened. The phone just goes off nonstop. In fact, I had to leave my phone plugged in somewhere because it was dented.
So Dizzy did ask about the belts.
No, Harley. We have actually talked to Brett, and this has also been, you know, discussed by the BOD.
I spoke with. Okay, so let me tell you right now. It was brought to my attention today because I'm the co-feaster credit Spring War. Somebody came to me and said something about this. Okay, I immediately messaged Brett because I'm not the kind of person that's going to run around and go into the rumor mill shit. I don't like the rumor mill shit, never have, because it has involved me on too many occasions. Okay, so I immediately contacted Brett and said, where are we at on this? After some discussion and everything else, it is determined. It is determined that no, they are still going. We are still have the feastocrats that we have, which includes myself. We are still going to do the feast that we said we were going to do. That feast is going to be the best feast in the history of Spring War. Period. That has been resolved. All right. So that is I got on top of that the moment somebody came to me and said something, and like I said, I went to Brett and I said, hey, this is what I've been told, and I've come to you to verify because I don't play the rumor mill crap. I don't. If somebody tells me something that's going on, y'all know I'll come straight to you and go, what's the deal? All right, so that's been handled.
Now, I do want to make a small announcement real quick. I want everybody to understand that this was actually very difficult for me because I consider both Raban, Brett, and all the other Dark Riders friends. I mean, you know, I really looked up to Raban.
I don't have a negative thing to say about any of them.
Neither do I.
Never.
Now, that's why I had to have an independent third party do this investigation.
And you know what?
I didn't want... I knew that there was no way that I could not be biased because of my personal...
And you know what? I'll give you credit.
So you personally did remove yourself from this investigation?
Correct.
Okay.
From the investigation portion. The only thing that I had a hand in is once we came down to the punishment.
Well, but the thing is Kapoor dictates that you have to do that.
have to
you
do
know. So...
Well, you're better than some kings in this game.
Okay. And the reason being, okay, Kilno, the reason why that happened is because probably by the time you asked, 30,000 other people had probably already asked because he was upset with me at first until I told him, I was like, dude, I came straight to you because somebody mentioned something to me and I came straight to you out of respect. And it calmed the situation down. Okay, so just let everybody know if somebody decides they want to make some comment about this, it's already being handled.
He is just like me right now. He is inundated with messages.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I got hit with a bunch of them because they know I'm the co-feastocrat for the event.
And my phone has been blowing up since 12 p.m.
Yeah. You know,
12:01.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just the fact is that, you know, the people that are crats in it, I'm pretty sure Sponge has probably gotten inundated.
I'm pretty sure he has.
You know, with this. Because Spring War's right around the corner. We're, what, less than a month?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's worried about it.
Yes.
Nobody needs to be worried about it. As it stands right now, everything is in place.
Everything
is as it...
without a hitch.
There you go. So that's where we're at. Like I said, I talked to him directly. No, and I tell you what, I will, you know, okay.
No. AIBOD did not get involved in issuing the ban.
All they did was make a recommendation, and that was it. But that's why the AIBOD was contacted and consulted with, was strictly for consultation as to where to proceed.
It wasn't an actual AIBOD saying, okay, hey, this is what we recommend. It was a person from the AIBOD that recommended this. And so we looked at all the information, looked at what this person said, and then we decided, you know what, we're going to go ahead and this is what we're going to do.
Okay, hopefully that answers.
Yeah, Rinjara and I ultimately made this decision. I mean, you know, because once it gets to the punishment phase, that's this guy right here.
Yeah.
And my KPM and my KGMR.
And there's nothing wrong with seeking outside suggestions on how to handle the situation, because when I was king,
this was a new situation for me.
Black Wolf was king of the Celestial Kingdom. Okay, and when I was treading, because I you know, Black Wolf was a friend of mine forever. Okay. When I had things going on, I seeked out Black Wolf's advice. You know, Black Wolf's advice on the issue. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with seeking outside assistance on how to determine on punishment if that's where you're going with it. You know, because it's called utilizing your resources.
I didn't feel comfortable making that decision on my own, because if I had made that decision on my own, I felt that my personal friendship with Raban would have impacted my possible decision.
Okay. And it's understandable. Yeah. You, at every opportunity you could, other than what the Kapoor dictated, removed yourself from this because of your personal feelings, which is what we've asked many of people that have been involved in situations like this to do. That if you have a personal bias in this situation, step the fuck away and let somebody else do it.
There were also members of the BOD who were brought into this.
I'll ask that in a second.
At the last second. You know, just to let them know that everything was happening. But whenever we were still in the punishment phase on, you know, hey, what are we going to do? There were knights that were consulted in the kingdom that, you know, hey, look, we don't know where to go with this, because, you know, we don't want it to be too heavy-handed, but at the same time, we don't want it to be just a little slap on the wrist. And, you know, we want to set that precedent that, hey, look,
this is not acceptable.
Yes, this jeopardizes our game. This jeopardizes the entire kingdom, because now we have
fraudulent numbers.
Fraudulent numbers. So, I mean, you know, these people that were added into the org, were they wavered? I mean, we have no way to know.
Okay.
I mean,
so, all right. So, Harley wants to know if they are leaving the kingdom, how will the kingdom go about gathering the funds collected from their park dues?
If I do remember from the ROP...
It's a distance.
Hi.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I do remember correctly from the ROP, the funds are dissolved between, you know, the park members, or they can turn it over to Kingdom. It becomes their choice.
Okay, now
because it's park funds.
Okay. All right. Now,
what's up, brother?
Kale 420 is asking, how was this problem discovered? I'm just wondering if this was started as a malicious intent against them. I'm assuming that means if this was started to be malicious against them, the Dark Riders or Raban. If this was a targeted attempt to go after them.
To my knowledge, it wasn't.
Do we know who made the report? We're okay. You know what? I'm not going to ask that question because everybody has a right to anonymity.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I couldn't answer.
Just say there was an anonymous tip-off.
Okay, so somebody filed a report saying that I think this is going on, and the investigation started.
Now, this had also been investigated back during.
Bianca wants to say hi to Diston.
Oh, hi, Diston.
Okay.
You're good. You're
now,
good.
this had actually previously been investigated back when I do believe Nesta was still in office.
Okay.
And there was never anything posted, nothing. I mean, you know, it was one of those things that it just really seemed like it got swept under the rug.
And then somebody else reported a second time.
I do believe that somebody else had reported it a second time. I think this is the third time
Oh, that's
that it's
stubby.
been looked into.
Okay, so my understanding is that this was reported twice. It was reported way back when.
Yes.
And nothing evidently came of it, and then it got reported again here
Correct.
recently.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's my understanding of things that I know about it. Okay. So, Bianca wants to know if she's dues paid at Devil's Bayou. Do the funds just vanish, or is okay? So let me ask this: for the people that were dues paid at Devil's Bayou, that now if Devil's Bayou withdraws itself completely from the kingdom, and they decide to say go to Nocturnus. Okay, let's just we're just going to say Nocturnus. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is their dues pay status still active because there is no funds representing those individuals any longer?
Correct.
If we're saying that the dues are dissolved, it's dissolved. Are they still dues paid until that dues status runs out, according to what Orc says?
They would still be dues paid because with the dues, okay, so with the park funds, let's say that there's $300 in their park funds.
Okay.
So and let's say that all of that is from Kingdom dues. Okay. So they would owe us half of that because Kingdom gets half of all dues paid at park level.
Yeah. So they would. Okay. So if we're using 300 as a number, $150.
So $150 of that $300 that's left still needs to go to Kingdom to cover the dues, and the other $150 is dissolved between, or however the Parks Monarchy decides to do that.
Do we currently know at this time if that's already being discussed with them?
I do not.
That would be something that would be up to Rinjar to handle, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Because that involves dues, and that's not in my lane.
Bacon's want to know. He says, did they cover what their dues that park owed for dues at mid-range?
I do believe that was taken care of at mid-range.
Okay, so we're 1 week out, so I don't think it would matter at this point.
I don't think that it does.
Okay, so there we go. Let's see. They'll just let anyone on this show. Yeah, pretty much. However, this is an important situation, and we felt that we needed to have clarified before this got out of hand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so if Bianca goes somewhere else, then she's fine. She's dues paid until the end of her term or the end of the time that she paid her dues.
Correct.
Okay, so everybody, if you go to another park, if Devil's Bayou does officially withdraw themselves completely from the kingdom,
correct.
if you do go somewhere else, you are still dues paid. You are still an active contributing member to the kingdom.
You are.
So there you go. All right, so that answers that. Is there what park is closest to Devil's Bayou? I do believe that is what Dragon Skull Keep in Bastrop.
Yes.
Okay. So Dragon Skull Keep is the closest to DB. For those of you who now have to go to another park to remain active in the kingdom. Bianca said she's probably going to go to Slaughter Creek. Well, there's Nocturnus too.
Yeah. All great parks.
All great parks. Murky Waters would be a stretch for you to drive from there.
Probably.
But, you know, if you want to stop by MW and hang out with us, we're cool people. I have no idea what the hell that was. So anyway,
oh, a belt fell.
okay, so Slaughter Creek is closer. So yeah, so is there do we have anybody else have any other, you know, questions that they want to present on this issue? Because this is, you've got them right here, right now, the attention, as long as you follow the rules and aren't toxic, anyone and everyone is welcome to Nocturnus. That's good.
Oh, it's Katarina. Okay.
Okay, so there you go. You know, you have, like I said, you have the Monarch here. If you want to ask any questions,
SC isn't friendly.
Slaughter Creek.
They're not.
The only problem I have with Slaughter Creek is all the damn cardio.
Okay.
I'm a fat guy.
So am I. And
cardio sucks when you're a fat guy.
Now, Thadagrin is a dick. He admits it freely.
He does.
I mean, he embraces that shit. I love Thadagrin. He's actually really cool.
Yeah, I'm missing my... Thadagrin may be watching because I don't have my ASTD, which is my anti-Sir Thadagrin device, which is a unicorn that I put right here. So he's probably watching.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yes, I do.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about Slaughter Creek is cardio. Like, when we were doing that bell game thing, dude, after a while, I just started walking.
But
I'm
hey,
I was walking.
Dude, I will say, the very next day, I actually sent Thadagrin Sir Thadagrin a message thanking him for that, because, dude, the next day, my back felt amazing.
My legs hurt.
My legs hurt, but, dude, my back felt amazing, and for me, that's good.
There you go.
And so...
Is there anybody else got any questions? What efforts could be taken to garner more members, seeing as how we just lost a duchy? That's a good question. What efforts could be taken to garner more members, seeing? Okay, all right. So here's the deal. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some public relations issues that we're going to have following this. Of course, we're going to have issues at Spring War because, of course, this is going to be a topic of conversation because we are the host kingdom of Spring War.
Yep.
Okay. However, we want everybody to know that is in that part. If they go elsewhere, okay, everything is fine. Okay, this kingdom is not done anything because of the park. There's been no strikeout. It's not a strike against Devil's Bayou.
Correct.
Nothing like that. This is a matter of a couple individuals did some wrong shit, and the kingdom had to act. It has nothing to do with park. Has nothing to do with a group of individuals, because I've heard that today.
Yeah,
that somebody said that
the Dark Riders.
That this kingdom just went after the Dark Riders. That's not the case. Okay.
Okay. So unfortunately, if you have a park that's pretty much made up entirely of one fighting company, anytime you do anything on a mass scale like this, it looks like you're going after the fighting company.
So according to Stubby, he'll be too drunk to care at Spring War.
I wish I could join you on that, but unfortunately I can't.
I can't. Will the CK page be reopened? Is the CK page closed?
She's talking about making it...
oh, well, because currently it's closed and it's non-public. Okay. Well, I can't answer that question.
Neither can I, because I have no control over anything that's done on the CK page.
Did anybody explain why they closed it? Is it because of the okay, we'll just call it what it is. The shit storm that happened after mid-rain. That Sunday night. I mean, by the time we all got home, there was like 2 or 3 posts that had over 200 comments on them.
That was pretty much the reason for it, to my understanding.
Do you have authorization to speak to as to why it was done before you say anything about it? Because I don't want you to say why and then.
The reason is simple. I mean, we have a BOD at Lone Star.
Mm-hmm.
They have to protect their interests. We have to protect our interest with them.
Yeah.
So anybody can get on an open page.
Yeah.
If certain people from their BOD get onto that page and see a shitstorm, it's not good for us with relations to them.
So it was done for a PR standpoint.
Yes.
Okay.
That's definitely understandable.
Completely and totally understandable. Well, Weasel and Chris.
And that's from the BOD president. So.
All right. Well.
Thank you, Distin, for that guest insight.
I cannot.
Call me by my government name.
I cannot. I cannot. Well, if he's speaking on behalf of BOD, then it would actually be his regular name.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we can't call him. What is
His initials are
regular name?
SS.
Oh, it is Steven Schultz. Okay, I forgot. I don't know why. I forgot. Actually, it's like half the time I don't answer to Rich.
I didn't know his name for like a year.
Like half the time I don't answer to Rich. I only answer to Yhamish. And it was like that before when I first started this game back in the 90s when I was in CK. Before, I could walk into Walmart and somebody'd say, "Hey, Rich," and I'm like, I would not answer. As soon as like, "Yhamish, what?" You know, my own wife, who was a member of Amtgard, she got mad because I'd be at the house, and she turned around, she's like, "Richard, Yhamish, what?" So, you know, so I have a hard time when people say the regular names. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about? Oh, this guy. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, all right. So, let's address that. Bianca said in there, well, Weasel and Cricks got what they wanted. Is this is that a situation where it was this whole thing is being perpetrated by Weasel and Cricks?
No.
SS irritation rules the world. Way to go, Stubby.
Now the funny part is I knew that, you know, that Diston was the owner of SS Irrigation. It never dawned on me at first what SS Irrigation stood for until I figured out his last name, and then it was like, oh shit, that makes perfect sense now.
Trying to figure out what the other S in the SS was all about.
Well, no, I mean I knew that.
Well,
it had to be something.
It's obviously not. It's obviously not in Son. Okay, so it's not that. So it's got to be Steven Schultz. 'Cause it's not Steven and Son or Schultz and Sons. So you know. So there you go. I'm called Mal by more than a couple of my friends.
Oh, okay. So we need to
get back to that.
Weasel and
Okay,
Cricks.
the Weasel and Cricks issue.
So, no, Weasel and Cricks, I mean, them kind of getting what they wanted, I guess, is...
I mean, that's a matter of personal issue. I mean, if that's what they wanted, I mean, but that's not why this was done.
Correct.
It's not done because somebody wanted somebody gone.
Correct.
Okay, anybody in a... See, and that's where the problem we have with people reporting things that go wrong. Is they're afraid that it's gonna look like it's a personal vendetta. And then people are not going to report things that are going on that's wrong, you know.
And Bianca, I haven't made any contradictory statements.
Why did he lie to me on the phone today if he planned on going on YouTube and making contrary statements?
From Brett.
From Brett.
What in the world would he be saying that you're... See, that there's the issue when we have a go-through.
Yeah.
We don't have the individual that thinks that you're falsifying it, so we're getting half a statement. I know. I realize you're just asking the questions.
Yeah,
for
we
me.
know.
Okay, but you know what particulars is he stating that he's lying about? Because in order for him to answer to why he thinks he's lying, then we need to know what it is. You and everyone else. Oh, okay. I think he's responding to Bacon.
There's conversations in the chat now.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing is revolving around us right now.
Oh, it's not? Well, that's fine. I'm okay with this. For once, I'm glad that nobody's paying attention to me. I'm okay with that.
Now, I to my knowledge, I told Brett everything that I've stated here today, that the investigation was conducted by an independent third-party contractor.
Okay.
That the findings were, you know, that...
These were the findings.
Yes, these were the findings, you know, the credits were entered, you know, fraudulently.
Okay.
We consulted with AIBOD to get their recommendations on what we should do. Now, AIBOD didn't give us an official recommendation. I mean, you know, but they did.
Was it more like one of those, if I were you?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, if I were you, this is what I would do.
Okay.
And
which is not official. Which
correct.
is not an official statement.
Yes.
Okay. So we may make sure people understand that is not an official statement. If it was an official statement, it would come out. We, the AIBOD, state that you should do the following: A, B, C, D, and E.
Correct. Now, I mean, you know, they did give a personal recommendation. The AIBOD member, you know, that we talked to, he did give a personal recommendation of this is what he would do if he were presented with this situation.
Who was it?
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not allowed to put out who
Yeah.
it was that was consulted.
Yeah.
And if they want to come out and state that they were consulted about this, that's their choice. But until they say so, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't.
I'm not
I don't know who it is, so I can't even state to that fact. So if they decide they want to remain anonymous, it's their choice. As a BOD, they have that right. Yes. Just like the same thing, if you made a suggestion as a BOD member, but never stated that you wanted it to be known that you're the one that made the suggestion, all we could go back and say is a member of the BOD of the Celestial Kingdom. That's I got broke that down once when I asked a question about that.
Yeah.
In
Now,
a former kingdom.
So, anyways,
legally-wise.
So I did take those recommendations, and they were discussed. They were discussed with, with a couple different people. No, I did not tell Brett that AIBOD made the call. I told him that AIBOD recommended that we do this. So, I mean, that's why I handed it off to AIBOD, is so that way they can actually get in there and they can say, okay, hey, look, yes, something fucky is afoot, and we need to address it.
Okay.
So, and I mean, and like I said,
which is fine.
AIBOD, they don't step in on stuff, like banning and stuff like that. That's all left up to us.
Well, banning somebody out of it is a game issue unless the person has broken mundane law. Then at
Correct.
that point, the AIBOD can step
Yes.
in. We were all part of that whole conversation when I broke that loose when I was king of KCG, trying
Correct.
to figure out where the BOD stands in legality-wise with the control of a kingdom.
Correct.
Because they took my kingdom away from me the day I got my crown. And so I brought it to clan saying, hey, here's the problem we have. What control and what are the boundaries here? And they defined it clearly that unless it involves mundane factors involving this organization, they're not supposed to weigh in and make decisions on game items.
Correct.
But
they can still give recommendations.
They can give recommendations, but they cannot officially weigh in and make a decision on something that is game related.
Yeah, they can't say, okay, hey, this person is banned.
This person's an asshole and they're gone.
Yeah, they can say, hey, look, I would recommend you do this.
I mean, theoretically they could, because the AIBOD controls the entire scope of the
Theoretically
organization.
they could, but
they don't
want to.
They don't, and they've chosen to draw that line where if it's mundane, then yes, we have the right to. If it's game related, no, you handle it yourself. And that's my understanding of what came out of that clan and what has come out of subsequent conversations concerning that. Is it okay? Yeah. All right. Go right ahead. Go ahead and send it to him.
Okay.
So
I get the water off my fingers so I can log in.
Right. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about it when it comes to BOD situations and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if I said anything that I'm incorrect at, I have you here. You can correct me if I say anything incorrect about the power of the BOD.
The AIBOD acts under direct influence of the Circle of Monarchs, whatever direction the COM gives them. That's the power that they hold.
Okay, so
they can form committees to have stuff done at the direction of the Circle of Monarchs.
Okay, all right. So their power is even less than what I stated, then, in a way.
Okay, so
it's all subject to interpretation.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna let you read this verbatim. The one on the left is me. The blue is from Brett.
Okay. So according to this statement.
Yeah, you can just stick to the meat and potatoes.
I'll stick to the meat. Yeah. Okay. A permanent ban for credit fraud. They did not enter. I turned it over to AIBOD because I couldn't stay neutral in it. I had to let them figure out what to do. The ones in question were entered using his username for org. Brett responded, not cool, really disappointed. I agree, but I couldn't just sweep something like this under the rug. I agree, not sweeping it under the rug. Permaban is ridiculous. It was investigated by a neutral independent contractor just for this instance. Okay, so you said in here.
That's everything that
you said in here that you've notified the AIBOD, which you said you did. Okay, and then you stated in here that the investigation was investigated by a neutral independent contractor just for this instance. Because you said you had to let them figure out what to do. The ones in question were entered in using. Okay, so I can understand where part of the disconnect is here.
I mean, basically, it was sent to AIBOD.
It looks like here
an issue.
Okay, it looks like in here in this statement that you stated that you gave the AIB, in this instance, it does look like you could interpret it that you said that the AIBOD did the investigation. However, you clarify it later by stating it was investigated by a neutral independent contractor. Okay.
Correct.
So I can understand where part of the, where the disconnect is on who did what. Okay. So I can understand.
But yes, Brett, everything that I've stated on here is 100% the truth of everything that has happened.
Okay, so like I said, I'm reading the conversation right now for all of you. So like I said, I can kind of understand the disconnect on where he thinks that the AIBOD is the one who did the full-on investigation. And then he clarified later that the investigation was handled by a neutral third party.
Yeah.
But what I get from that statement is that you contacted the AIBOD, said here's the situation we have that's been reported, and
this is the investigation findings. I sent the file over.
You know, I think this would have been clarified if you'd put, because I couldn't stay neutral in it, and where I had to let them figure out what to do. I think if you'd put after the investigation concluded and I was handed the results, I had to, you know, let them figure out let them figure out what I had to do.
Yeah.
I think that would have clarified the entire disconnect right there as just one statement.
Yeah.
So I can understand where he thinks that you are backtracking on something you said, because I would have probably thought the exact same thing based off of that. So your wording was a little off on that, and it could have been a little clearer.
Yes.
Okay.
It could have.
All right.
But
So
yes, that's exactly what is happening.
hopefully that resolves Brett's issue with
Brett, if you're watching, man, I want you to understand, brother. I mean, this has absolutely nothing personal against the Dark Riders or Raban. I mean, this is what had to have happened. I mean, because we had credit fraud, we had to investigate it, we had to address it. We don't have an issue in this. We have to protect the kingdom. We have to protect the game.
Yeah. So like I said, he told me today that AIBD made the call, not him. Okay. Now, like I said, we can understand where the disconnect is.
Correct.
There should have been maybe another sentence involved in there stating why or when you when you contacted AIBOD over this.
Right.
It was after the investigation had been concluded.
Correct.
Then you contacted the AIBOD. See, and that's
the
why
investigation did not conclude until
and that's why it's a good thing that we're having this conversation here with you, so that way if there is a misconception about it, we can get it cleared up. And that's what this is. I don't think I don't agree with it. It's an outright lie. I think that it was a misconception of statements made over this, and we've clarified that.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
So the investigation didn't clear up until Sunday evening.
Okay.
So, you know, and whenever I read everything, the first thing, tourist days, I have no idea what tourist is.
Okay. So
probably not.
Are you watching?
Yeah. I don't know what tourist is.
I mean, probably not then.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Anyways, where was I?
You were talking about the investigation.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The investigation concluded Sunday night.
Concluded Sunday evening. And then, you know, after I read everything, I was like, oh shit. Okay. I'm too closely connected to this because I love Fister to death. I love Raban to death. And I mean, and so, you know, I didn't feel that I could stay 100% neutral on that.
Okay.
So, and that's why I contacted AIBOD and sent the information over.
Okay. All right. So.
Probably.
We'll discuss it when we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So, anybody else have any questions, comments, or anything that they feel that they need to have addressed over this issue before we pretty much call this to a close? Because I mean, we're 48 minutes into this. It would be great for all potential dumpster fires. We get answers much faster. Excellent idea to have an interview.
That's why I agreed to this.
We discussed this right after it came out.
Yep. Richard and I, or Yhamish and I mean, you know, it's very well known. I've known this man for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got me on speed dial. I got him on speed dial. We talk pretty much on a daily basis. So whenever this all went down, the very first thing that happened was I get a text. Hey, what the hell is going on? I was like, look, dude, I'll come on your show tonight and we'll lay everything out.
We'll lay everything out and we'll hopefully answer some questions.
I am all about transparency if people haven't been able to tell. Yes, Lyria.
So, just going back to the appeals process, you've stated several times that you are very closely connected with a few of the members involved in this case. When that appeal process, say it were to come during your reign, would you be able to look at it objectively, or would you have to pass that on as well?
Unfortunately, I feel that I would have to pass that on because, you know, I don't want to sit there and
suddenly overturn it, and then everybody
Yeah.
says it's because the only reason why you overturn it is because you were backed in the corner to make the penalty.
Yeah.
And then you overturn it when given the first opportunity to overthrow it because of how you feel about people. And
Correct.
Makes sense.
I mean, I want everybody to understand, my wife is sitting right over there. If my wife did something that was not okay and it was against Kapora or whatever,
Or a COC violation.
or a COC violation, I would ban my own fucking wife. I mean, I have absolutely
If
no problem doing that.
if somebody else did the investigation.
Yes, if somebody else did the
Remember,
investigation and it was concluded that she fucked up, or you fucked up, or even distant fucked up, I have no problem banning my own friends because we have to keep everything in order. We can't be, oh, you know, well, no, this is just my buddy, man. We, you know, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't be that guy. What's the
What's
$1 million
the $1
question?
million question?
Nobody's asked it.
Nope.
What is it?
I don't know. I didn't get here.
No, go ahead and ask.
The $1 million question is, why in the hell did you knight Raban if this investigation was going on?
I didn't know Raban's involvement in this whenever I knighted him. So had I known his involvement, I probably would have deferred and said, hey, let's do it at in-ring. You know, instead of doing just a ninja knighting. So whenever, all I knew is that there was a potential credit fraud issue and it was being investigated. So, and all I knew is that it was from recent events. Whenever all that happened, I know that Raban hadn't been in office in recent memory. So, I mean, you know, I didn't think that there was any way that it could have been him. And then whenever the investigation came back and it was fully investigated, okay, shit, we have an issue. So now I'm like, I just knighted the guy.
And when you talk to me about it today, first words out of my mouth is you realize how this is going to look.
Yep.
Well,
So-
what about this question? Given the situation and knighting him, does that disqualify his crown belt?
It does not. It's already been given.
So it was given before the
it was
results
given
were
before
handed
the
out.
results were handed down.
And it comes down and it's close to the same situation that happened to Selric when Selric gave what's his name his crown belt, and then they found out he was guilty of cheating. It was not long after.
Qualibus?
Yeah, Qualibus.
Yeah, not Selric.
No, Selric gave
Qualibus
his crown belt.
Yeah, gave Qualibus
And then right after that, they found out he cheated at Olympiad.
So it turns out that the crown belt is cursed and you should never want it.
No, I'm guessing.
Closely related to that, then, if Qualibus was banned for 3 years, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
3 years, had his belts and his awards stripped from the orc, stripped from him, and that was for cheating, right? In essence, is credit fraud cheating?
Credit fraud, in my opinion, is more along the lines of theft, because you're stealing from your populace. I mean, you know, you're giving them false credit,
You're stealing from the kingdom as a whole because you're
Yeah.
saying that the
You're
kingdom
saying
had
that
more numbers than they did.
Yeah. That's the
So
other
you're
thing.
falsifying the actual size of the kingdom and its attendance. So I would look at it in the same sense. I see what you're going with the cheating
Yes.
aspect of it.
Technically, yes, it is kind of cheating, but I mean, it's fraud.
Okay, okay. Let me. If I was in the discussion on whether or not what would have to be done, because this affects leadership situations, I think the only one I would probably then go for is probably stripping of the crown belt and the points that led up to it, because it's a leadership issue. I don't think it would directly affect the service aspect, because that's what his first knight is.
No,
what's
for Dragon.
Oh, his first one's Dragon.
Yeah, he's a Plasti Dip Knight.
Okay, so the problem is that's something that's going to have to be handled by the Circle of Knights. You know, I'm not in the Circle of Knights, so I can't. All I can do is make an assumption.
Well, essentially, the
Distant
Circle
will
of
be
Knights can say, yes, we voted. Yes, we want to strip a belt. The monarch has to agree to it.
Yes,
Correct. I have final approval.
yes.
Would
So
you
if
take
this-
his belt back?
I mean, just like I did this last weekend, I'm going to defer with my circle of knights that are there.
If the Circle of Knights votes, I would
If
have
they
to
vote unanimously to strip, I'm going to have to follow through with that. If they vote with a super majority to strip, I'm going to have to follow through with them. I mean, because we once you're talking about a major majority of our knights that are saying, "Hey, look, this is messed up. We need to fix this." I have to take their advice, man.
So if they vote to strip him, then that's what's going to happen. If they are split on the issue, then are they going to
If we have like a 50-50 split, I'm gonna have to say no, man. I mean, I'm not in this situation yet, so I mean, I don't.
We gotta
know
wait
exactly
and see what
I
happens.
do. Yeah, you know, see what we have turn out for nights. I mean, you never know. We may have
I'm sure
another
the situation will come up.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise
And
me.
it's a great question to contemplate right now, because the thing is we this, like I said before you got here, is like, I've been in this game for this long. I cannot remember this situation happening where this has happened in the past. So this is a new ground that we're crossing on somebody screwing something up. And every step we make at this point, because it is new ground, we're setting a precedence for if it happens again.
Yeah.
So where we go from here, it's just going to be handled. It's going to have to be handled on a day-by-day basis on where we go with it. And the thing is we've got right now the belt situation is that would go into the Night Circle, and then we have to wait to see what the Night Circle comes out with, concerning it.
Yeah.
I know we've seen where it's not been cut and dry. And we go back to the Kalalabas situation, where that got drug on, longer than it should have. That was the opinion of general opinion of all of Amtgard, is that got drug on way too long. So in this situation, have we learned from the Kalalabas situation? Is this going to be something that's handled expeditiously? Because they're going to have to bring it up at their next circle. If they don't do a circle at Springward, then it's going to have to be at Endring.
I am of the firm belief that if something happens, I'm not going to take my time doing it. I want to handle it as quickly and as easily as possible. I treat everything like a band-aid. Let's just grab a hold of that motherfucker, rip it off, get it done. I mean, if we keep putting it off, all it does is it pisses people off.
I mean, the only thing I could say is just personal opinion on the situation, if I had a vote. Because this is a situation where, I agree that fudging the numbers cheats. It is a form of cheating, because you're inflating your numbers. And we discussed this earlier today about, well, the thing is that they keep fudging their numbers up to the point that they become a Grand Duchy. Then they were able to hand out to the 8th. I believe it's 8th. Principality is 9th, right? Do we have it broken down like that here still? I can't remember. So anyway,
I don't remember.
But if you fudge the numbers to get to that point, and then people are getting awards at that level, then it messes up the whole situation. So that could screw up a lot of things. So my opinion would be, yeah, unfortunately, even though I like the guy, he screwed up, and he is supposed to be the example of what to be, not what not to be. And he'd have to. My opinion would be he loses them. I just look at it that way, that's one of the responsibilities you take on when you get there, is you are under more scrutiny than you were when you were a player without it,
or whenever I was Duke. I'm under a lot more scrutiny. I mean, everything that I do is looked at and analyzed and re-gone over every single time.
Does that answer your question?
You good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Still talking about that?
Yeah, we're still discussing it. We want to. The first facial expression I got from you when we were trying to answer looked like they totally did not even answer my question.
Okay, so I'm going to cover what Killamil said here. He said, "What are we going to do as a kingdom to possibly clear our name and put us in a better standing with other kingdoms?" Killamilk, I mean, you know, that's why I kind of addressed this and, you know, got AIBOD involved and proceeded with this as quickly as I did. I mean, you know, I held off until today because we already had the, you know, I already had the ultimatum out there for park officers who weren't Reeves and Kapora qualified. As a matter of fact, the park officers there at the Devil's Bayou still are not Reeves or Kapora qualified.
I had a conversation with their prime minister about that, and I said, "Look, here's the situation. Yeah, okay, maybe."
I talked to them all this weekend. I told them the KPM and the KGMR are here. Do your test this weekend.
And I told them, and I also told their PM. I was like, "Look, here's the deal. Even if you're upset, say something didn't get entered in. Say you took the test and it didn't get entered in.
Yeah.
Take it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real simple.
In fact, Barrick's test is easier."
Yeah.
So just go back and retake Barrick's test. If that's the only thing you're missing, if you got the Kapora done, but you're missing the Reeves, then just go back and do the Reeves.
Yeah.
You know, just get it done. And, you know, it was him and hawing him, and I'm like, that's the best way you handle it. If the test did not get entered in, and you know you can pass it, just take it again. Yeah, it's frustrating, but in the end, what are you going to resolve by arguing the issue?
Yeah.
You're going to be kicked out of office because you're not qualified. So just take it again.
So, anyways, you know, back to the topic at hand. So I mean, you know, that's why I handled this as fast as I could. I kind of knew. Let's see, I knew what we were gonna do on Friday, I believe it was. I'd have to go back and check. I do believe that we had already decided what we were gonna do on Friday. Since we already had the ultimatum out there, I had to wait until noon today because I just, you know. Because I just wanted to go ahead and lump that all in with it. You know, okay, look, your officers are not qualified to be in office. Let's just do everything all at once, one big fucking Band-Aid, and be done. So that's the only reason why I held off until 12:01 today, is because their chance to get Reeves and Kapora qualified
That was the deadline.
At 12.
That was the deadline.
So they still hadn't done it by 12:01. Done.
Okay. So, man, it makes sense to wait until that deadline hit.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's true. You know, it's new ground, and taking care of this is how we build ourselves bigger and better and stronger, you know, to handle these situations.
Well, and so that we don't have these situations in the future.
Well, and because
that's the only reason why I came down as stern as I did.
Well, and it sets a precedent that says, look, we're not going to put up with this.
Yes.
You know, so if there's
I will not tolerate fraud.
If there's any people that have access to the orc in their parks and decide they want to fudge the numbers because, say, they're on the edge of getting a demotion, if it's found out, this is what's going to happen.
Yes,
and that's not why they did it, but still. But it sets, because I know that there's been people that have thought about it. It's like, well, hey, if we just call somebody and say, hey, can we sign you in? No, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
I've been PM of a park where somebody suggested. I said, dude, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
They're not here. In fact, I was the hardest one when it came to PM cutting credits, because in my own parks, like, no, your ass got to be here for at least an hour and engage somehow in the game of Amtgard to get credit.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of other places you show up, hi, I'm here, sign in, bail, and you get credit. You had to be there for an hour.
Yeah.
So,
now, apparently I am Harvey Dent. I'm two-faced. So that's what I'm being called now.
oh,
Yeah.
well,
Because, I don't know, I guess because because I guess Brett feels that I'm being two-faced because I'm saying two different stories.
I got
the same story every time.
I got told that.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Harvey Dent is Two-Face.
Harvey Dent is Two-Face from Batman.
Who watches DC?
Don't let me hang it.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm sorry, but I like the original Batman series, and
The one with Michael Keaton?
the Dark Knight series. Okay, they did okay. Special effects were great, but
The Joker,
Ooh.
Heath Ledger, yeah. Heath Ledger did an awesome job as the
he did an awesome job. But
Yes.
you know, I'm still a fan
way
of
better
the
than the
original.
newer one. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we are. So if DR decides to last minute remove themselves, is it just going with what it is now from Spring War, or what are we going to do as a Kingdom? All right,
Who posted that?
Kill him.
I think I already addressed that issue.
No, you had said
Not
that
on here.
they are continuing on and that that they're going to basically do everything that they had already obligated.
So
themselves
these
to
are
do.
okay.
If they do it last minute, say Thursday, you know what? Fuck it, we're not doing feast, we're not doing this, whatever.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make
as the co-feastocrat, as the co-feastocrat. Okay. Co-frostocrat, whatever.
You been drinking this?
No. I will cross that bridge when I get to it, because if that happens, and with me being co-feastocrat, it automatically makes me the feastocrat. If that's what the autocrats decide, which means food poisoning for everybody. We're handing that shit out. You won't have to write poison on the bottom of the plate. All you gotta do is consume the food. It
will not be trots.
I do
Lady
not.
Squire Bridget wants frosted Yhamish.
Oh joy.
Well then.
Look at him! Look at him!
Well, we're there. Brett talking to me about helping cook the fish. As far as the beans, you're in good
Hands, probably.
I know. Dude, that's alright. My phone decided today it wasn't auto-correcting shit anymore, and I was mistyping the crap out of everything. I learned real quick how bad of a speller I really am. Because then I'm looking at it going, that doesn't even look right. It's not how this works. That's how not anything works. So, yeah, no, we'll cross that bridge. If it happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But I very seriously doubt that it's going to happen.
It wouldn't be the first time. I will say the Spring War many moons ago, I was a co-feastocrat, and on Saturday morning.
Yeah, hey, you're taking over, bye.
Yeah, I didn't even get that. Somebody from Gate told me, said, by the way, the feastocrat drove off with all of his gear in the back of the car and just left. That's what I got.
Brenda, we do have a contingency plan.
Brett's driving.
No, I know, and I spoke to Brett, and Brett and them have said that we're doing this, and we're going to have the greatest feast in the history of Spring War, period. And I believe Brett. I have no reason not to believe Brett.
Yes.
Because I take Brett at his word, and like I said, I questioned Brett as soon as somebody brought it to me, and I immediately contacted Brett, said, this is what I got told, and we discussed it. And based off his initial response, I could tell he'd been inundated with that shit. Okay, we discussed it, and we're good. We're good. Everything is fine.
And Bianca, to my knowledge, that's what's happening.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, they're staying through Spring War to finish their obligations for Spring War, and then after that, they are bouncing from Amtgard.
And in all honesty, at this point, as a co-feastocrat for Spring War, I just want to draw that conversation to an absolute fucking close, because if we continue to hash this shit out, it's going to piss people off.
Yeah. And Brenda, like you said, we do have a contingency plan as a just in case, but I don't want to have to use a contingency plan. I mean, I 100% trust Brett, and I feel that he is a man of his word. He said that he's down and he's going to, to be.
I have no worries.
I have no worries.
I'm not concerned whatsoever.
He was elected Kingdom Regent for a reason.
That's why I said we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. If we get to that bridge, because I don't think we're going to get to that bridge.
Yes.
I mean, that bridge way off in the damn distance. We're like, look at that shitty bridge. Nobody. It's like that.
Even
bridge,
at Spring War, that bridge is going to be way the fuck over there.
That's like Sarah Palin's bridge to nowhere comment. That's exactly what that is. A bridge. It's nowhere. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to happen. So there you go. So like I said, I want to bring that conversation to close, because all it does is going to piss people off. It's going to irritate the shit out of people.
And I mean, and guys, I want y'all to understand. Like I said, I have nothing but love for Brett. I know that Brett does feel betrayed right now because this has happened, and he is a Dark Rider. I mean, but I did this with absolutely no malicious intent towards any Dark Riders, towards Raban, towards Fister. They just all happen to be in the same company. Had they not all been Dark Riders, the results would have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it had been me doing it, guess
if
what?
If it would have been Diston and Yhamish and Lyriel doing this shit, the results would have been exactly the same.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Okay. Just saying.
Oh my God! I gotta watch that movie tonight. I'm sorry.
But just saying. So we're done with that conversation about feast and all that shit.
Yes,
and we're done with that.
Yes, we're done.
Anything else? Okay. So
Promote it.
by the way, I'm going to
Promote that shit.
I'm going to promote the shit out of it, because I tell you what, there's been a lot of great fucking improvements done on that site, and if my ass could free up a fucking day that they're down there, I will go. to help out with that.
We need help.
You know what I ought to do? I ought to chug that fucking thing of Everclear or Georgia Moonshine that I have at Spring War. If somebody donates $1,000,
Somebody donates $1,000, you will.
You will die.
First of all, we
Oh,
need
no.
a contingency plan. We'll need a medic on site with an IV bag ready.
We're not. No, we're gonna need a
No,
fucking
let's
helicopter. We're gonna need a fucking medevac. We're not gonna need an ambulance.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a medevac.
Definitely not doing that, but it is a good plan to think.
Well, I don't
about.
think. You know what? Somebody will be an asshat and donate $1,000 just to kill you.
Who's got money in this kingdom?
There's a few. Trust me, there's a few.
We're looking at one.
Yeah, he's got money. He owns his own goddamn business.
That doesn't mean he always gets a
I
paycheck.
don't know how to send a message on YouTube, but you were all talking about Night Circle and one of the guys' crown belts. If they have it at Devil's Bayou's Night Show, hold on. I'll have to read it over here because he's done. He's posted to me a message form before. I don't know how to send a message on your YouTube show. That's fine. But you were all talking about Night Circle and one guy's crown belt. If they have it and Devil's Bayou Knights show up, they may be able to help him keep his belt. If Devil's Bayou left CK, he'll most likely lose his belt. Okay.
That is possible, but they're.
By the way, if you're not in the chat room and you can't message or whatever, you can send me or Bubba
Or
Lyriel a private message on your question.
Yeah.
Disson needs to donate brisket to my cause. That's coming from Harley, by the way.
Yeah, she said that you need to be banned until brisket and beer.
All right. So anyway, go ahead and address this question.
Okay, so even if all of the Dark Rider Knights do show up, there's still going to be a vote, and I mean, and there's going to be a majority of non-Dark Rider Knights there to, anyways.
Especially for that vote.
Yeah, especially for that vote. I mean, you know.
I mean, because the last time we had a belt stripping vote, we had
Knights that hadn't been coming out, or that hadn't even been out in 10 fucking years.
Which started the whole conversation about whether or not they are active or not active, should have a vote, should not have a vote, and that whole shit's still going on.
Yes, it is. So,
you know, so the discussion, that discussion though has got to be handled by the Night Circle, and they can handle it. They got to handle it however they got to handle it.
Correct.
I'm not on the Night Circle. I can't speak to the fact. Yes, surreal. It is going to be the best fucking spring war we've ever had. Period. Greatest. All time. If you miss it, well...
You're a piece of shit and I hate you.
No, and let's not say that, because some people aren't going to be able to go. I've already had people sit there and go, dude, I really wish, but I can't get any time off.
Nathan can't go.
Okay, but
I'm going.
it's going to be the greatest. It's going to be the greatest. It's going to be the greatest spring war.
No, he couldn't get off.
It's going to be the greatest spring war in history. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be...
okay. Hold on. Let me address this real quick with Harley. The Knights didn't just come out of the woodworks to strip Clolibus.
There was quite a few that came out of the woodwork to support him
from getting stripped.
Oh yeah, because there was one that showed up at the meeting I haven't seen since I was here before, and somebody told me he hasn't been out since I was here before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had people literally that they've been a knight since the 90s, and they haven't showed up since the late 90s, showing up for that vote. And it's like, yo, hold up, man. There's a problem.
There was one I was like, they were like, Yhamish, I haven't seen you forever. And I had to look and go, who the fuck are you? And they were like, oh shit, yeah. Okay. I'll be there long enough for court and feast since I have to run a booth at Sherwood. Yep. Yeah. Harley and Jill and the ones that are working the booth, they're planning on showing up for court.
Yeah. And
that's probably about it. And that's understandable because you guys are actually running a business at the Renaissance.
They could show up on like Wednesday.
I think you got a message or something. Your phone just flashed.
No, Wish.
Oh, Wish is letting you know
look
you
fresh
get
at work in a new blazer today
for 70% off.
70% off.
As long as you're only 5'1" and weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I ordered a 5XL jacket and it doesn't. I couldn't get my arms in them. Kill Mill said I might be there for one day. Just need a tent and a dog sitter. Okay, well the tent's not a problem. I got that. I got extra tents.
And bring your dog.
So there you go. Any other questions that we got concerning this issue? Anybody else in the room have any questions that are currently in this room right now? Have any questions concerning this?
Oh yeah. Kill Mill just clarified. Not one day. Day one.
Oh.
So he'll be there from Wednesday on.
I will not be able to be there till Thursday morning. I
Same.
cannot get Wednesday off.
My last day of work is that Wednesday.
I'm taking off the entire week. I said
I was
Friday.
going to, but unfortunately, due to some mundane issues, I had to take vacation days in the last couple months. So I only have 2 vacation days left, and I can't afford, with me getting ready to move, taking that time off. I need all the money I can. Lyriel, what are the prizes for beer pong?
2 big steins that are engraved with Murky Waters stuff.
Murky Waters Beer Pong 5.
Champ.
The same thing it's been for the last 5
years.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. I can't partake in it.
A hearty pat on the back is for second place.
Yeah. Because you know what? Second place is remembered as.
Now, hold on.
Ding.
Hold on. Do you understand that if you win the Murky Waters Beer Pong, you are, the Murky Bong. If you win the Murky Waters Beer Pong, you are going to chug a beer at court.
In the stein.
In the stein.
In the stein.
Yes.
As is tradition.
Yes. I started that tradition.
No, you didn't.
I didn't? I thought I did. Damn, that sucks.
Who started that
I'm
tradition?
going to tell you that the first beer mug chugging after you won the mug, they were not filled up with beer.
Oh, they weren't? What were they filled
They were
with?
filled up with about 18 different kinds of liquor.
Oh, God. Basically, Jill's
You tried
Iron
to
Man
fucking
shot
kill him.
tourney in the mug.
I had nothing to do with it, but they were, at that time,
Who was
announced at the Oogly Googly Bump and Grind show if you were lucky enough to catch one of them.
No.
No.
Where was I when this happened?
No, it's not going to be warm this year. Last year it was, but this year it's not going to be warm. It's going to be cold beer.
Yeah. No
We
more
will
beer.
be getting brand new trash cans and lots of ice.
Yes.
Yes.
Who was the first one to win? Do you remember that?
The first champions of the beer pong, I don't remember who they were. As a matter of fact, if you remember who they were, it wasn't a good beer pong tournament.
Correct.
He's got a point.
Hey, I cannot remember who the hell won last year.
He's got a point. If you can remember the winners, you obviously were not participating.
So am I allowed to get any created?
I can't.
I cannot. So,
I am running a drinking
this
event.
spring war is going to be the best spring war in history, period. So you need to get your ass out there.
Carnival.
You know, you need to get your ass out there. What other things are going on at spring war?
The Disney sing-along is happening on Wednesday.
The Disney sing-along is happening on Wednesday.
And then after that, there's going to be an actual Bardic, I think, on Thursday night.
And then there's supposed to be a Grand Bardic on Saturday after Feast and Court at Gate.
And it will be a real Bardic, not a Disney
because
sing-along.
there's people that live on site.
I know. The discussion is that the Saracens are going to be hosting one of the Bardics.
Yeah. As they always do.
Yes, we're hosting. I believe
they always host a Bardic every year.
Well, no. We're hosting Surreal's Bardic. I believe is what we discussed today. Also, who's running the battle games?
M-Hog.
Yeah, M-Hog.
There you go. M-Hog is running the battle games.
Yeah, and M-Hog's got some badass
I tell you what, if you miss out on an M-Hog game, you're a freaking loser.
Yep, shit on you, sorry.
My God, every game I've ever done with M-Hog running it, which I've done a couple at Clan, and a couple other events, are freaking amazing. And I will tell you that some of them are very thought-intensive. Quest setups where you've got to figure it out as you go along. It's not just here's all the clues and make it easy for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Leviosa.
You know. Oh, I got
German.
There are 2 Bardic's. Okay.
Yeah, and the
Surreal is clarifying something for me.
The Grand Bardic on Saturday is supposed to be held at Gate. I don't know if that's going to fly with the owners or with the people that live right near Gate. So we may have to move.
Isn't that why we were discussing on whether or not the Saracens were going to host that? Or allow that to happen in Saracen City? I think that's what we were talking about today.
Yeah, I think they were saying that they would allow it to happen at Saracen City if people wanted to come and do
it. Pretty much the general consensus is if you want to be at Saracen, if you guys are okay with it, the Saracens have no problem with you guys doing it there.
Yeah.
There's 2 Bardic competitions, a Bardic competition on Thursday and then a Grand Bardic competition on Saturday.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Also, on Saturday at Court, we are doing 2 nightings. One is for our very own Distin the Grand Druid.
That guy.
And Paragon
Dork
Bard.
Lude.
Yes, Dork
Dork
Lude
Lude.
Squirrel.
Dork Lude Squirrel.
If you guys could see his face right now.
Did it stick?
Oh, it's stuck.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had people refer to you as Dork Lude Squirrel.
You know, since this isn't all, I was wondering, since this isn't all things Amtgard.
Brett also has a hand in the war.
Yes, Brett is also part of the setup for war and everything.
Since you never really get to ask somebody how they feel going into this. I mean, where are you at mentally on this? You've worked really hard at this and you've earned it. And I told you before when we discussed this.
The whole thing comes into question when you're talking about stripping people for crown belts. The whole thing comes into question.
Mm-hmm.
As a person that's coming up for it, I ask myself, am I worthy? Is there going to be bullshit? What are people going to say when I'm knighted? Because we all hear the backlash from when anybody else gets knighted. Anybody else.
Anybody gets knighted, there's always going to be backlash.
So, am I worthy? Did I do a good enough job to warrant that? And everything I've heard on it or got feedback on is at any point in my mind not credible. Because what's somebody going to say to your face and then turn around and say
behind your back?
You never know.
Yeah.
Now,
But
I will tell you, there were knights that I spoke with that they generally tend to vote no a lot at the circle. They voted yes. You know, they were like, yes, I 100% support Distin getting his belt.
I just tell you, as I pour everything I can into this kingdom.
Where
I love this kingdom.
Yes.
I sometimes hate it. I sometimes hate this kingdom. I hate the bullshit that goes on, but for the most part...
Oh, there are 2 cabins and 1 cart left as well.
How much are the carts?
The carts are... Ooh.
I want to say they're 2 1/4.
Yeah, I think they're like 225.
Shit. Okay.
Sorry.
What was I saying? I don't know.
You were talking about...
Well,
nice
so,
belts.
yeah, there's always that question in your mind, especially when it's announced. And then there's the procedure of it. You don't know how it's going to go. You just don't know. You've seen 1,000 of them. But how do you know what's going to take place at your own knighting? You can't have control of it. You know it's going to be something bigger than you. So you just try to prepare yourself for that, and that's what I'm doing. I want to live up to the standard for sure. For sure, I'm going to run for Monarch again. I don't know when, but for sure that's going to happen. Right now, I'm focused more on the service side of everything. So getting a crown belt on top of all the service that I'm trying to do, and I'm not doing the service to get a belt. I didn't do the crown positions to get a belt.
Exactly.
I did it because I love my part. I really have a lot of strong emotions tied to Murky Waters and watching it grow and the people that are involved with it. I want to see it, blossom into this great thing. And then the CK itself. Borderlands is where I started. A long time ago. And I quit for years and years, and I did HFS and that whole thing. But the question that always comes to mind is, will I be good enough? Were the things that I did good? Were they good enough? And there's no preparation at all. It's all out of your hand. You can try to micromanage something like that, but it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that your Knight Gecko, or Sir Gecko, has a pretty good ceremony lined up. And I do believe that Sir Weasel is getting in on it as well, because they want to make it a badass knighting.
Yeah. And it's like when I talked to you that one day about it. And you told me, because I told you that I felt that you were there. Because I look at you as an inspiration. I've been in this game for a long time. I've been in leadership positions in this game for a long time. But I look to you as a role model of what to be, because I see your dedication and your leadership. That you make these decisions and the way that you make these decisions. And I hope that if I get to become king again one day, and with everything that's happened in the past, I would not doubt if people did not want to see me king again from reputation of what happened to me. But I hope that if I get to be king again, I could be half the king that you were. I can be half as good at, if I can even be half as good as you were, I could still in my mind still, and the people that I know that have led in this game, I can still be in that top 10 category of people have led in my own mind if I could even be half the leader you are. Okay? And that's why I asked you that one day. I said, so what do you think? I said, because you've earned it. And you told me you weren't ready. You said, well, I'm not ready for it. And I get that. And I love that answer, because a lot of people will sit there and go, yeah, well, you know, it'll never freaking happen, even though I've earned it 1 billion freaking times over. Okay? You're one of the first people that actually gave me an honest response, saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. You know? And that proved to me right there that you were. Right there, because you get it. And if anybody ever tries to tell me that you didn't earn it, I'm going to look at it and tell them they get the fuck out of there. I say, you know what? You don't understand what this shit's about. You need to fucking go on.
My very first.
And if anybody ever tells you I say otherwise, you know damn well you can come to me and ask me to my face.
Well, okay, so whenever I took the reins, and I was at my first night's meeting.
And by the way, Brennan, that was a joke when Brennan said he was renting all the cars.
That was me saying that. That's why I giggled. So with Diston, whenever I went to my first night's meeting at Endring, or my coronation, the knights, they didn't bring up anybody for discussion. At the end, after they had already closed business, that's when Sir Thadagrin was like, you know, hey, you know, well, do you have any plans to knight anybody? And I said, you know what? Yes, I do. And I said, you know, I want to knight Diston, and I want to knight Rinjara. You know, I want to knight Rinjara for service to the, you know, for service to the kingdom, because she does. I mean, you know, that woman works her ass off for this kingdom. And I wanted to knight Diston for crown, because he is an exemplary leader. I mean, I look up to him. I would like to have a reign that was successful, but right now it's kind of a shitstorm. I mean, you know, so, but hey, I still have one thing I can claim: it's not as bad as Armand's. I didn't break Kapora. I mean,
I think that's
sorry,
debatable
Armand,
at this
throwing you under
point.
the bus, man.
I'm pretty sure that's debatable at this point.
It is. It is debatable.
Hey, just look at it this way. You didn't
It's
have
not necessarily your
you didn't
fault.
lose your kingdom on the night you got a crown.
That's true.
I did.
That's true.
So
Fuck
neither
up
one.
of the year award goes
So
to
no.
Yhamish.
So okay. So Armand or you didn't have that bad of a reign. I lost my kingdom.
Yes, the shitstorm has splattered me today.
It has.
So,
Okay.
Michael Green.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, here's the funny thing. The things that Bubba set out to do before he went into office, he has done.
Yeah, I get that. Well, you know, it's like I told you before. You know, yeah, okay, you may have stretched some things, but you haven't broke Kapora. You didn't break Kapora just to break Kapora.
Yeah.
Just to prove that it's broken.
Yeah, the only time that I have broken Kapora is whenever I forgot to hold the KPM elections at
mid-ring.
No. At
1 week prior to mid-ring.
At Dragon Master.
Or Dragon Master,
Yeah,
that's right.
Weapon
Yeah,
Master,
sorry.
Dragon Master. I completely
brain's
spaced
turning
on it.
mush.
Brett forgot about it, or Grifter, and even Rinjara forgot about it, because she was running on, you know, unopposed. So, you know, we all forgot about it. We just focused on doing Weapon Master, Dragon Master. And then, you know, just a couple weeks later, Grifter and I were talking, and it was like, you know, and I was like, you know, well, you know, we've got PM elections coming up at mid-ring, and he goes, oh shit, no, that was supposed to be done at Weapon Master, Dragon Master, and I was like, oh fuck, you're right. And so it's like, okay, how do I fix this?
All right, quick, somebody file an impeachment process.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you know, so I talked to Dame Aurora, and you know, and I was like, hey, look, you know, I fucked up, I dropped the ball, this is what I did. And, you know, and even she was like, you know, okay, this is a very easy fix, no problem, here. This is what we need to do. You know, she walked me through it, because I had never seen that actually happen before. So, I mean, and it was actually a really simple process. It was in the Kapora, but I wanted to get, you know, a season knight and a season, you know, or, well, a season crown knight, you know, to give me advice on that. Hey, how do I fix this?
Yeah. And we did.
Yes, we did.
We resolved it.
Yep. So, King was a... King
bad. King B is still feeling the shitstorm before and is wading through his own. Either way, King B has done better.
Thank you, Killin'.
There you go. All right. So do we got anything else on this? Because we're going on an hour and a half. I think we've kind of answered everybody's questions.
Well, we're not going to CC's now.
It's funny because mundane name, it is A and B.
Okay.
Okay, so yes. We're pretty much done here, people. We're like an hour over.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to dinner tonight, and that's not happening now.
Yeah, we were initially going to do this for 30 minutes. We're in an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so I think we're done.
I think we are done with this. If you have any more questions concerning this issue, you can contact Bubba.
PM me directly.
You know, Watcher, you can contact Watcher directly, and he'll answer your questions. If you guys feel like you're not getting your questions answered, go ahead and ask me. You know, hey,
send them into the show.
Words for the day. Not all things can be seen from the outside. Sometimes you have to go inside and see the real problem.
Stubby, are you high?
No, I believe
those
that
are actually very good words.
Actually, I believe those were said from a very famous OBGYN. Dr. Lipschitz is the one who stated that. Can we send Watcher a private message? Absolutely.
No.
No.
Hold up.
No.
I see the quotations
okay, no,
on that.
not that kind of private message.
No.
No.
Mike, you send me a private message, man. You
no
may bite off more than you can chew.
No sending privates in the message. Because that's... Okay.
Oh,
he heard
Lord.
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, he heard yes.
Oh, well, now you're getting...
Dick pics.
Now you're getting unsolicited dick pics.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, I'm just thankful that y'all have put your faith in me as a monarch to help see me through this. I mean, and we're going to get through this. I mean, our kingdom is going to recover, and we're going to do great things.
We're going to move on and have the greatest fucking spring war ever. Greatest ever.
Fuck yeah.
It's going to be awesome. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is this episode of Yhamish Presents. Thank you, Watcher, for coming.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much for this. And, folks, as always say before, don't go out there and do anything I wouldn't do. Well, actually, don't do the things I would do, so that way you don't get yourself kicked out or investigated for 3 times.
Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and if you do, don't do
If you like the show, let me know. In the comments after this post on the YouTube page, say, hey, we like the show, because I would like to see where we could go with this. What?
After 100 subscribers, we'll do a drawing for a free Toyota.
Yes. If I get 100 subscribers, I'm giving away a free Toyota. So,
a free car.
Yeah.
No, a free Toyota.
Okay, free Toyota.
Yes, we're giving away a free Toyota. But anyway, if you like the Yhamish Presents all things Amtgard, stuff like that, you know, please let us know, and you know, we can turn around and we can do more with this. I don't know who I'm going to have on the show next time, but
I vote Distant.
I think we get Distant on the show for an all things Amtgard. You know, I think that would be awesome. Anyway, I'm trying to get Blake on the show. I think Blake would be a cool one to have on the show, and anybody outside of the CK wants to be on the show, by all means. I mean, here soon we're going to be doing it with Neverwinter people. That should be interesting. Nobody ever hears from them. But anyway, folks, have yourself a wonderful night. Have a great week. Keep it in between the lines. It's the best thing I can tell you at this point. We'll see you later, and good night.
Night.
Good night.